So this is me fighting in the red and white tabard against Brandon Ross, who's fighting in a black tabard. You'll see him step out in a second. And the first round of this fight is sword and shield. The second is going to be long sword. So you'll see we kind of touch swords, ready to go there. Brandon has a slight advantage over me. With his heater shield is larger. My punch shield is not as good at defense, much more for punching and striking, which you cannot do to the face in this kind of duel. So no shield punch to the face under the current rules. You'll see Brandon's very quick. Great angles, moving a lot. I'm trying to get in low. It's a lefty versus a righty, so I have I think an advantage a little bit. But right here we had to stop because Brandon broke his sword. Sword he tried to repair and just snapped it right in half. So this is where this round kind of turns. Up till now, I think Brandon has been ahead by a point or two. They're going to hand him a backup weapon they grabbed real quick because he didn't have one to field, and it is a Dusac. So a Dusac is a curved saber-like sword. It is heavier than the arming sword that I'm using, so a little bit slower. And you'll watch his strategy change here when the fight restarts. So yeah, as that fight restarts right now, you're going to see he's more defensive, more on guard, because he knows that he is going to be slower than me necessarily with that arming sword. Right there, he kind of comes in, he steps by me, I get a strike to his back. That Dusac really changed the round. Frankly, I was a little hesitant. I think I was behind a couple strikes. And given that heavier weapon for those last 30 seconds or so. So he comes with a nice kick right there. He actually lands the kick but doesn't capitalize on it. He's much more mobile. I am trying to get it at angles and kind of just use my lefty versus righty advantage. So that's the round. So the round's over. We're going to reset, have 1 minute here. And because of the mixed weapon fight, we're changing over our weapons. You can see the armors, checking over my armor, making sure everything's safe. That's Joe Fondant. He did a fantastic job in this event. And Jay is actually handing him a different weapon, handing Brandon a different weapon now. So he has that Dusac. He's now fighting with a falchion, a lighter falchion. Still not an arming sword, which is the fastest weapon for this type of duel, but definitely going to give him more equality than he had before. Yeah, so we're fighting sword and shield again for the second round. And then here's the thing. This round ended in a draw. You're going to see right here. So no one gets a point for this round. No one gets a win. We had an equal number of weapon strikes. So we're going to just go out and we're going to do it again. We're going to fight sword and shield again for the second round. And the third round will then move to long sword, which now we're guaranteed a third round because the first round's a tie, so nobody took it. So here we go, round 2. Similar ideas, similar stances. Brandon fights that little bit of a lean. He's changing his guard a little bit. You can see we're just trading a lot in this round. I feel that I was pretty reactive. As I've said, I tended to wait for him to make a move. I didn't go in aggressive. I think that was the right move against him. Mostly because Brandon is very fast and good sword. You can see like leaping strike there. I don't think he landed that, but it's keeping me off guard. What would be out of other people's range is still in his because he's willing to jump in and strike in that way. So what's happening a lot here is Brandon lands a shot and I land a counter shot. Brandon lands a shot and I land a counter shot. That's kind of how this whole round felt. We both take a moment to kind of re-engage, reset there. Yeah, and the same thing. He's landing one. I'm getting one back right in the hip there. So that round ends. Brandon is the captain of the Executioners. I fight on the Executioners, so he is my captain and one of the best fighters in the country. So it is fantastic to be able to go up against him. An event like the St. Paddy's Day Brawl here, I love all the little Irish hats and the green lighting we had in the back. We did the best we could in a COVID environment to make this as festive as possible. And you're going to see here now, it's another draw. So it's two rounds, 2 draws. We're going to go into the third round, and this would be the deciding round. And we're now switching to long swords. So of the weapon sets, I am more comfortable dueling with long swords than I am with sword and shield. I'm just not a great sword and shield duelist. Maybe it's because long sword is more simple. I've only got one thing to worry about versus sword and a shield. but we're getting to switch off to that. This should be the deciding round since no one has won one round yet. We're going to go out there and do our best. So we'll wait for that round to start. Fight starts. Brandon has an interesting low guard here that he tends to start in. I'm kind of setting myself in place, and you can see we're a little hesitant. Both of us have tied. No one wants to give away the advantage. And it's a flurry of blows here. Just chop, chop, chop from both of us. Same idea. This kind of came on. He was ahead at that point, and here's where I push him into the corner and half sword him. Now, Brandon is very smart and a great fighter. I only landed probably 2 points on that half sorting. Half sorting, if you grab the blade and the handle and you drive the sword in their face, that's a legal technique in our league. He got his hand up in between the sword and his helmet, and hands aren't legal points. So he was able to keep those shots from landing and counting, even though I was hitting him with it. Now we're going to go back here. I try it again. You can see my hand stumbles and the blade's flat and it gets bound up. We kind of get stuck here. Can't get out of that. So I just start headbutting him. No real reason. Headbutts are not worth points, but it's fun. And I was right in front of the camera and it looked good. I'll be honest. I thought I had this round. I thought that I landed more with that half sword than I did. Rewatching it, I realized that he got his hand up there, and that hand got in between me landing a legal point on his helmet. So I think that is probably why I wasn't as aggressive right at the end there, and I was willing to headbutt and not rip away and keep fighting. I thought I was up on points and just kind of running the clock down. And this is the amazing part. We have now gone for a draw again. So a 3-round duel that I honestly thought there's a good chance Brandon would win it in 2 versus fighting sword and shield first, which he's much better at than me. Ended up with 3 draws, 2 with sword and shield, 1 with long sword. So now we are going to fight a 4th round and a sudden death round. So this was not expected. I will be honest, I don't think I was as mentally prepared for this as I should have been. We're just getting back to fighting at this point after being off for so long with all of the COVID events, and everyone's getting their gas tank back, their conditioning back. I felt great through 3 rounds, and then this 4th one, I just kind of felt myself start to slip a little bit, my energy go down. I don't think I was as mentally prepared to go another one, and I was in the back of my head thinking, man, if we go for another draw. So I do land a couple points there first, up on the elbow. Brandon tries a flying kick, which doesn't land. And up until this point, I have the lead, and right here, you'll see, he gets in 2 or 3, and I don't get a counter. He blocks them, gets 1 off my helmet, and any advantage I have, I lost. And here's my mistake in the fight. I stand here at this point, and I think I even knew that I was down, and I'm not sure what I was waiting for. I don't know if it was energy or just trying to calculate. I didn't feel that tired. I just felt like I wasn't mentally there. So I'm doing more blocking, but Brandon's smart. He knows he's in the lead. He's backing off. And he changed his technique, which the rest of the fights he would strike first. He's forcing me to do it. So I do land a couple there. It's just not enough. I feel like this is the moment where you see a real vet come out over still a newer guy like myself, where I have a lot of things running through my head. Worried about another tie, or can I go another round, worried about am I doing the right thing, and you can see Brandon just stay composed. He charged in when he needed to, he backed off as soon as he got the lead, and at that point it was my fight to lose, because I wasn't managing it in the same way that he was. So, we come to center now, great duel. At this point, I'm really not sure who's won. I don't think he is either. I think we both could go either way with it, but Brandon does take the match. And watching it over again multiple times, he definitely deserved it. All in all, proud of myself to go 4 rounds, tie 3 of them against someone who is regarded as one of the top fighters in New England and a top fighter in the country. So very happy with how this all ended up for my first fight back in a long time.